You know what it is, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
You know who it is, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Odie, Mari, Sody, Maurice.
Maury Sody, Maury Sody.
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy.
Hey, oh.
Yes, Mo?
Are you ready?
Let's go!
Black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy, black and snerdy. It's the Black and Snerdy podcast with Odie and Maurice. We now return to the Black and Snerdy podcast.
Welcome back to the Black and Sturdy podcast. That was a bit redundant, but it's okay because I like being a little redundant. It makes me feel more, human, I suppose. Odie.
Yep.
Are you ready for us to talk about our mental health journeys for the past few weeks we could go? Because, as we always say on this show, we are mental health experts.
Advocates.
Yeah, we're advocates. We're not mental health experts. We are not mental health experts. We are advocates. But we each are going on our own. We're healthy and wealthy, and we're in the space where we can actually have mental health journeys, and it's okay for us to share. So how's your journey been for the last few weeks?
You said journey like 10 times.
I know. And as a matter of fact, everybody play the Black and Sturdy drinking game. Take a shot anytime I say journey. Take a shot anytime white supremacy comes up on the podcast.
That's going to come up a lot.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Take a shot anytime I interrupt. Take a double.
Well, then you're trying to kill them.
And take a double shot anytime I interrupt and I'm actually caught with the wait for it drop.
And or you can take a puff of your Mary Jane. Or, also if you like seltzer and you don't want to indulge, do this either way.
Ooh, here's also a fun thing. I want everybody to, in what I imagine will ultimately be the Black and Snerdy wiki. I want everyone to guess. I want everyone to guess exactly what time of day do you think, based on our energy, that we are recording this podcast. Seriously, that's a fun thing. I think you can guess and then we'll confirm it in a live thing.
Yes. For the Patreoners.
Yes.
Those of you who want to pay to listen to the uncut versions of our shenanigans, you'll be able to guess. Maybe you'll win like a gift card.
We don't have to specify exactly what they're going to win.
I don't know. That could be fun.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Anyway.
Anyhow, so.
Fine.
How's your mental health journey been this week?
I will say that it's been interesting because while I was in California, I didn't have as many. I only had one appointment with my therapist, and I remember I told you I found that DBT therapist. We had never gotten a chance to meet, and so I'm kind of annoyed at myself because I messaged her back, and she was like, she's kind of filled up right now, so I'm going to have to either see about when she's going to be open again, or we'll have to, she said she could, research to see who might be available that also fits my criteria and get them to me. But I kind of want to stick with her. I liked her vibe. I liked her energy. But I'm like, this was my I had been meaning to write her this whole time, and I just kept forgetting. I think that's one of the things that annoys me the most about ADHD is that the amount of things that I will literally forget that are important to me that I don't want to forget them, but they'll just kind of leak out of my brain, even if I could be in the kitchen, remember something, and by the time I get to the living room to write something down on a notepad, it's the thing that I thought I was remembering to do might not even be there, or I might have thought about 10 other things, so those things would be on there. Right. But the other important thing, is gets lost in the sauce. So I was kind of kicking myself about that the last few days, but I'm just going to be as proactive as possible and just set some reminders for myself or whatever. I also was feeling pretty good because I had a final conversation with my boss about, some like contract stuff, and I was very. It wasn't even anything bad, but sometimes for me, like even just asking someone a simple question can be overwhelming. But I'm grateful for the work that I've been doing on myself, that I was able to ask these questions without having as much of a panic attack. Like I still had to like pre-write the questions I was going to ask. I did that one because I knew that when I'm talking to someone and it's about something important, sometimes I'll forget what I thought I wanted to say, or maybe I'll miss something. So I wanted to make sure I had that, which I'm glad I did. It might have been 5 minutes before the conversation, but at least I did it. And like, I just I've been feeling in a really great place work-wise. And I think that as long as I keep kind of doing my best, things will continue to improve. And this is kind of connected to my mental health journey, but I signed up for Planet Fitness. I think I told you.
Oh, yes. Shout out to you signing up for Planet Fitness, which actually hasn't done anything because, once again, I did not turn up the volume. Shout out to you for signing up for Planet Fitness.
Thank you very much. Exercise is one of those things that, your doctors always tell you, especially doctors, therapists, they always are like, exercise, make sure you're getting movement, but it's especially important for people with ADD or ADHD, so that like one, it can help you with your energy, your metabolism, just different type of endorphins and things that exercise does, can be helpful. And so I'm hoping that will, I'll be getting the benefits from that because I've been feeling pretty sluggish recently. Having a hard time, like I would be sleeping, and I could be sleeping for the whatever recommended amount of time, but I've been waking up really tired, and I thought it was a new medication I was taking, but I don't know if it's that or if it's something else, and I'd rather be getting ahead of it. And also, like, I've been feeling like the pandemic, like, of course, we're inside more, we're less movie.
You mean the Pedialyte?
Yes. The Ponderosa has been a time of just kind of being in the house. And I feel like I've been gaining weight, which I don't want to lose weight because I'm like, I am unattractive or anything like that. It's just that I don't feel like my body, like I'm a small person. I'm 5'2" and a half. And I feel like sometimes when I've gotten to a certain weight, my body feels like heavy and it's kind of uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just going to be going, because I feel like I was doing well, but I feel like I've been drinking a lot recently, which is something
just like alcohol or just drinking more fluids?
No, alcohol.
Okay.
I feel like during I was kind of drinking a little bit before the pandemic, but I feel like since I started hanging out with people more, I've been drinking a lot more, and I think that's been adding like unnecessary, calories to my day.
Right.
Then also like I've been just trying new medications, and sometimes those can be mixed in with your body. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm being like as healthy as possible.
Right.
So I'm hoping that this Planet Fitness, even if I just go 30 minutes a day, like however many times a week, I'm hoping that will, give me a boost. And the more that I make it something consistent, the more I won't, feel so annoyed about doing it. And it's 5 minutes from my house. So I'm hopeful that the fact that it's very close, it's 24 hours, that I will be able to find more reasons to go than I can not to go.
Right. Well, if you need any assistance, just let me know. I am not just an advocate for mental health, but I've also been in an exercise, get as much as you possibly can get done while we are still within lockdown and while we can still work from home sort of mode or vibe. So I am definitely the one to champion any sort of exercise or workout routine or regimen or sit down. And I'm not smart enough to figure out counting calories and figuring out what you're going to meal prep for that week. Hell, I'm on keto just so that I can have an excuse to eat meat and use an air fryer. But if you need any sort of accountability buddy or somebody to just send you a text like, hey, I'm about to work out, or the fact that we have Apple Watches, if you want me to just keep sending you compete things each week and just like, hey, are you going to do any sort of exercising for the day? Because I just did 90 minutes on an exercise bike or something like that, So if you need anything like that, let me know.
All of the assistance. That's what friends are for. And no, yeah, I usually prefer to work out with other people. But I'm going to see, I want to be able to get to the place where like
you can motivate
I
yourself.
Be there by myself. And I'm just doing it, and then like having somebody else there is fun, but like I'm really doing it myself.
Okay.
But I feel like pre-pandemic, pre-panorama, I was going to the gym by myself and working out. Even though it was like annoying, I do prefer working out with like groups in like classes or with a friend or something. But I feel like it's just the only thing that was keeping me from doing it was like going from the office and coming home, and it was like I was tired. But now I'll be able to like go on my lunch break.
Fantastic.
Which is something that I used to do when I worked in the city and I had like class pass. So I'm just gonna be like trying to focus on that kind of freedom of it. And it's like really all you need is like 30 to 45 minutes a day of exercise to have a healthier body. It doesn't mean you may not lose weight or gain muscle necessarily, depending on what you're doing, but just for the fact that you're moving your body in a way that it's not used to. So it's just like about building it up. And I like there have been times when I've been at my peak like exercising that I've been like going for like 2 hours. Like not like every day, because you have to still be mindful of your body and recovery and stuff. But I know that it's possible. I'm not afraid of working out. I'm just afraid of getting bored while I work out, because that's something that I feel like happens to me a lot. But I feel like I just have to find like a really good mixtape. If there's a TV show that I can watch,
okay,
and just kind of go from there. Even those I've been finding they have these like virtual now with the, like people doing all this virtual working out from home. Yeah,
like Peloton type stuff.
You can get that like on YouTube.
Or that exercise thing that you can hang on your little door, and it's like a virtual and the only reason why I can't figure out the name is because like I specifically forced myself not to learn the name of it, because if I learned the name of it, I'm gonna want to buy it.
Smart mirror.
And why would you tell me that?
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I did not want to learn it because I know my dumbass self is going to try to buy it. and I'm trying to stay clear of it because of a thing that I'll talk about when I'm happy in that segment.
I think that the smart mirror is one of those treat yourself times where you've made... No. You have to wait.
Sure, I literally just explained this is a thing I don't want to do, but go ahead and explain why it's a good thing.
Not saying that you should buy that now. I'm saying that when you have completed a really great goal for yourself that you have, I think that would be an appropriate, wow, look at this great thing I've done. I'm going to use a treat yourself for this thing that I really, really want. Not saying that you should go get it now, because you said that you're not getting more stuff for your apartment. So that wouldn't be a time to get it. But I think that we could set things aside that we really, really want for when we have met some sort of like achievement, so that we know that it's not frivolous, because by the time that thing comes, if it's like something that takes a little bit of time, if you really wanted that thing and that time comes and you have the ability to get that thing, then you can get it without any worries of, do I need this? Is it important? Because obviously it was important enough because you actually waited all that time to buy it.
I agree with your sentiment of reaching benchmarks and then treating yourself. So on that, we can both agree. Is that your mental health journey for this past
Yep.
Few weeks. Okay, cool. I would like to jump in with mine. I started taking new medication. It pairs with my.
If you know, you know.
I don't know, is that right?
If you know, you know. Air horn is right here.
Oh, oops.
No, it's fine. Yes, I actually.
But hey, we're
That's fair.
rolling with it.
Yes, we are. So I have started taking new medication that pairs with the current medication that I am taking. And I am already seeing results.
That's great.
Essentially, when you start taking medication, they start you off at like the smallest dose or like the smallest recommended dose to start with based on whatever you're trying to address.
Yeah.
I'm starting off with the smallest dose, period, point blank. Even with that small dose, I can see a world of difference as far as addressing my needs, which is essentially I've had 3 years in therapy of addressing the depression part of my bipolar 1, which is like I go through long periods of manic depression, long periods of depression, and just more so I've been trying to keep myself in the middle.
Yeah.
I've worked specifically on my depression for the past 3 years and dealing with it, calling it colloquially my blue period, and figuring out the signs of when it's going to happen, how long it happens, what to do while I'm in it, the transition period from when I'm out of it, and appreciating the period between when I'm done with it and when I know it's going to occur down the line.
Yeah.
I have not been focusing on my mania at all in any way, shape, or form, and it has led me to have manic episodes in the last few weeks. This medication is addressing that, and in addition to addressing a lot of the concerns of my mania, I find that the new medication is also helpful in other areas. And it's specifically in an area that I will get into when I discuss the grinding section. But what I will say in this section is that it is helping me to acknowledge the things that matter and the things that can slide, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I am not afraid to admit this, but I'm the type of person who is easily frustrated, which is kind of ironic because I know that I can be a very frustrating person. And by can be, I mean that I am. I know that that is just what it is. I own it and I accept it. Sometimes I lean into it to a fault, but it is what it is. And I find that I'm the person who can be frustrating because I know what frustration is. This medication, without naming it, is helping me to acknowledge the things that frustrate me and to give me a sort of quick time mode in my own brain of, is this something that I'm going to address in the moment, or like I normally would do as just a general reaction, or am I going to find the path immediately as quickly as possible that will just turn into actionable interaction? Because when I say actionable interaction, I mean what will let me leave this whole issue as quickly as possible, not fleeing, but just sort of being proactive. How do we resolve this quick thing that ultimately does not mean anything to me, and therefore it should not really be a conversation? And a lot of times it leads me to just simply agreeing and saying, yeah, okay, sure, and then moving forward, because ultimately it's not worth a dissertation or an argument of any kind. And thank you. Shout out to you, medication. Anyhow, that is my mental health journey, and that's our mental health journey for this time period. But Odie,
Yeah.
it's not all good. It's not all sweet. It's not all roses. I gotta ask you a quick question. Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorice is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's That's OD, THATSOD.E. And on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy Podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.